it.
Yeah.
So the recording is going.
Okay,
Hello. Good evening, everybody.
Good evening.
Ali.
Hi.
Hello.
We're just getting started.
God.
okay, thank you.
Oh,
Welcome to the January 2026 meeting of the Business Affairs and Licensing Committee. My name is Anton Malner, and I am chair of this committee. Tonight, we are joined by Community Coordinator Brian Lafferty. This meeting is called to order at 6:35 p.m. As a reminder, New York State law requires all committee members who are not able to attend the meeting in person to have their cameras on and their first and last names displayed from the time the meeting is called to order until the time the meeting is adjourned. Members of the public who are attending virtually, you can raise any questions or comments that you have through the Q&A feature of Zoom. Members of the public who are here in person, you can raise any discussions that you have by raising your hand. If there's time following committee discussion, we will field questions from the public. We have Sarah Woodington volunteer to take the minutes for tonight. Thank you very much, Sarah. Okay, we will now take attendance by roll call. Brian?
Thanks, Anton. Committee members, I'll call your name. When your name is called, please say present. I will announce if they're informed. Paige Stark.
Present.
Thanks, Paige. John Keller.
Present.
Thanks, John. Anton Mullen.
Present.
Thank you. Will Perry.
Present.
Thank you. Ann Sullivan.
Present.
Thank you. Sarah Whittington.
Present.
Thank you. Pat Valero.
Present.
Thank you. With 7 of 7 members in attendance, we have a quorum.
Thank you, Ronnie. Okay, the agenda for tonight's meeting was distributed ahead of time by the board office and is reflected on the screen before you. If there is no objection, we will adopt the agenda. Members of the committee who object to adopting the agenda, please raise your hand. Seeing no objection, the minutes of the agenda is adopted. The minutes from the December 18, 2025 meeting were distributed ahead of time by the board office. If there is no objection, we will adopt the minutes as drafted. Members of the committee who object to adopting the minutes, please raise your hand. Seeing no objection, the minutes for the December 18, 2025 meeting are adopted. They will soon be available on the CB6 website. Okay, some ground rules. In order to conduct an efficient meeting, let's observe a few ground rules. 1, no one may speak until granted the floor. 2, committee members who are here in person have a question about committee business or wish to make a motion, please raise your hand and I will identify you so you can speak. 3, committee members are unable to attend in person. If you have a question about committee business, you may raise your hand through Zoom and I will identify you so you can speak. All committee members, it is extremely important that one person speak at a time so that members of the public watching at home can understand what is being said by each committee member. Important, the chat function for committee members present via Zoom should not be used for committee business or questions about agenda topics. All such remarks should be made on the record by raising your hand through Zoom. Chat should only be used to alert us to any technical difficulties you are having or to state in writing information like an email address that was already stated aloud on the record during the meeting. Tonight's agenda, first item, dining out in New York City application for Sidewalk Cafe and 4-year license for MFRF Enterprises doing business as Street Taco at 358 3rd Avenue. Is there a representative available?
Mr. Fox, it looks like you're unmuted, but we can't hear you.
He's still muted?
No, he's not
He's
muted.
unmuted, but I saw he was speaking and we couldn't hear anything.
Apparently he can't hear us.
Can you put something in the chat, maybe? Yeah,
We can't hear you at the moment,
no, we still don't hear.
but if you'd like to join from another device,
Maybe.
or leave and come back, perhaps that would.
Maybe we'll skip and go to the next one. Take
Would
them. Flip the order between one and
Yeah,
two.
okay. Uh, I'm gonna skip street taco and we'll try a little later. Next item on the agenda is cannabis renewal application for retail dispensary license for 201 East 30th Street Corp. Doing business as Smiley Exotics at 201 East 30th Street. His license expires on March 5th, 26. This was originally approved March 2024. There were issues in the past, one of them being tables and chairs being set up in front of the business. And people smoking marijuana on these tables and chairs. I believe that has been resolved. The issue remaining unresolved with the governor's office is that they're within 500 feet of a house of worship and 200 feet of a school. And large issues that the Office of Cannabis Management had incorrectly interpreted the law. And there are approximately 134 cannabis shops that have been put out of compliance. This is not our purview here. This is something that goes to the state legislature and governor. We're just looking at this from point of view of the community. There haven't been any complaints about them, Brian, I understand.
Not
recently.
And they apparently have done what they had to do in terms of our stipulations of the man trap and the type of advertising they have in front of their establishment. So do I hear, is there a representative for Smiley?
Yes, hi, good evening. My name is Heidi, and I'm the representative for Smiley Exotic.
Okay. I have no questions for the representative. The members, any member of the committee have a question?
go to community first.
The first committee members.
My only question is that even in the picture that you sent us, you have one of those.
I sent them, I included photos of the table and chairs.
Right, no,
Oh,
that's,
okay.
actually, I'm just referring to like the A, right, like the A sign that's there, that looks, I couldn't really read the signs, and honestly, I did not have the time to go look at like the sign map. But on, DOT website, but I mean, it looks like you're taking up a parking spot with your sign there, and like, parking is hard enough in the city, like, put it out on the sidewalk like everybody else does. Yes.
Yeah, no, definitely we will comply with that. I believe that the sign is no longer there, but I'll definitely talk to management about that, and we'll definitely try to rectify that problem.
Okay.
I visited it. I visited the area today. I noticed that you did have the sign in the window, which thank you for doing that. And the sign is not there, obviously, because there is a lot of snow and there's snowbanks, so the sign can't be there. I just have a question about the winter vestibule that is in front of the building. Is it attached? And I believe that there are stipulations in Department of Building with regard to, these vestibules that can be put out, obviously, so that, the
Right.
clients don't get, customers don't get cold. I noticed that it's rather big. There is a chair inside where someone is sitting. He or she kept walking in and out and sitting in the chair as I was there today. And there's also room for a bicycle in there. So just thinking that's a little bit of a large space that juts out into the sidewalk.
Okay, I'm glad you bring that up. Actually, we put that for security because usually they sit outside and just to shield them from the cold. But we are thinking about removing that mainly because of the look of the business as well. And then we're probably going to transfer the security inside to make it a little bit more comfortable for him. But that's something that we're working on. We have already discussed with management and the owners, and they had expressed to me that they do want to remove it because they wanted have a more classy look for the dispensary, and it feels like that's taken away from the look that they're going for.
Any comments from members of the community?
Add one other thing, which is not a question for them. It's sort of a question for OCM, which is, I feel like this is a company we had some problems with, but I think they worked with us
Mhm.
to resolve them in such strong contrast to Flintstone. And John, you may want to chime in here too, that I'm wondering if this is an opportunity for us to be a little snippy with OCM and say, we're fine, like, as far as I'm concerned, I'm fine approving the renewal in this, or is it an approval? Is it a no?
No objection.
No objection? I'm fine doing a no objection, but I'm wondering if there is kind of a venue in there where we can say, I don't know why we bother with this, since you obviously don't pay attention to what the community says.
This has been raised several times in the past. There's no question about it. The lack of transparency, the lack of communication is very apparent to all the community boards, not just us.
Yeah, oh, I'm sure.
Yeah, yeah.
But I mean, this is the first license that has come before us for renewal. And so I wonder if there's an opportunity there.
I don't believe we should be putting in a resolution. I think it's something that Jesus can address in his monthly meeting with the other business managers. And I know he's addressed this on occasion in the past at these monthly meetings, and it's very frustrating
To everyone, yeah.
that nothing is moving at the.
I mean, it's like, why do
OCM
we
level.
waste our time on it if they're not gonna listen to it,
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean,
And you've heard me say more, why are we even bothering?
Yeah,
Yeah.
totally.
Yes.
yeah, I mean, we've been asking that for a while, and I guess our attitude is that we're gonna keep opining on these things, but even if we're not listened to, but there's a limit to that.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
I'm, and I do respect that Smiley has worked with us and, which we really appreciate.
Do I hear a motion of no objection
So moved.
to renew this
Second.
license? Second, okay. Brian, did you have a draft?
Yes.
And do we wanna add the stipulations about the vestibule and the A sign?
I would say only to the extent that it complies with DOT regulations.
Okay,
Okay, because they have purview for
for both?
the awning,
And obviously for the street.
yes.
So, whereas the representative agreed to ensure that the vestibule complies with DOT regulations. Vestibule and reframe sign. Why? It's DOT regulation. Is that
Break it to raise.
any other stipulations?
Do I hear any objection to this resolution? Hearing no objections, the resolution is unanimously adopted.
Thank you.
Yes, thank you, Heidi.
Thank you for your time. Have a good evening.
Shall we go back
Bye-bye.
to Street Taco?
Sorry?
Shall we go back to Street
Yep.
Taco?
Keep quiet.
No.
I think he-
They're here? Can you-
Good
evening. Can you hear me now, guys?
Yeah.
Yeah, we can hear you.
Okay, let's pull up
Thank you.
the application.
Sure.
Oh. Okay. I'm sorry, your name is?
Mark Fox.
Okay. I'm just trying to understand what the purpose of your application was for.
You know, we have an enclosed sidewalk cafe that's been in existence there for 25 or 30 years prior to us taking possession of the place. And just with the change of the governing body from Consumer Affairs to DOT, we have to file for this 4-year enclosed sidewalk cafe permit. There's no change of use, no change of hours, no change of operation or ownership or anything like that.
Okay, look at your diagram, it seems to be within compliance of the DOT requirements. And since it's been there 25 plus years, we haven't had any complaints of that for your establishment, nor the prior one, or the prior one. We suggest that, we consider an approval of the DOT application as submitted. Are you a resolution?
Second.
Second. Okay. Brian, you have some boilerplate?
Yes. So the committee has no comments on physical footprint and dimensions, pedestrian flow, or conflicts with existing purviews, correct?
Correct.
Okay. And, shall we ask if any members of the public have any comments? Any members of the public have a comment about this? If you're online, you can raise your hand. Not seeing any raised hands. Okay,
Okay, resolution of approval has been made. Do I hear a second?
Second.
Do I hear an objection from any member of the committee for this resolution? Hearing no objection, unanimously passed. Thanks, Mark.
Thank you for your time, everybody.
Good luck.
Have a good evening. Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Okay. Okay, item number 3. The application temporary retail permit for wine, beer and cider license for the Taste of Delicatessen One Corporation. Doing business as to be determined at 563rd Avenue. Is there a representative available?
don't see anyone. If you're here, to represent this application and you're online, please raise your hand.
No, we didn't get a. Okay, I think this is the second month in a row they haven't showed up. They haven't sent the questionnaire. They didn't send a picture of the notification.
Yeah.
My gut tells me if they're not gonna be cooperative, this committee doesn't.
Yeah,
Well,
they've had
we
it
should
within
say.
2 months. It was
Yeah,
November.
I went there
Any
again
comments
today and there's no sign and
Do I hear a motion to objection?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Second.
moved.
Second.
This has been a problematic location for years. This is on a Pops. The prior restaurant owner infringed
Only
tremendously
abused it,
on the public area. Took down the Pops sign. Yeah. You hear the objection to the adoption of this resolution?
And, or any members of the public, here who wish to speak on this application?
I asked already. no.
Oh, I'm sorry. No, okay.
You're doing something.
Very thorough.
He is. I'm lucky for us.
No objections?
Hearing no objections. The resolution is passed unanimously. Okay, new application temporary retail permit for on-premises liquor license for Indigo Coffee Company LLC doing business as to be determined at 1078 First Avenue. We had a prior application just for wine, beer and cider. Now the application is wine, beer, cider and liquor. Of course, there was a problem with the submission of the previous questionnaire did not indicate the hours and the doors and windows will be open, but the cafe is gonna close at 10 p.m., so it's not an issue. So basically, it's an amended 30-day notice. Is there a representative for Indigo? available?
Yes, good evening. I'm Patrick Agard. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you.
I
Oh,
have a
good. I'm just
question.
having some difficulties with the camera this evening, so wasn't sure if you see me or hear me. Yes.
Okay. Let me ask you this, are you gonna be applying for sidewalk seating?
Presently, not within this year, no.
I was under the impression, I go by your place numerous times during the week, and I noticed when in warmer weather, you did have some sidewalk seating.
When? Within the past few months?
When the warmer weather was, over the summer.
Oh, because they just really started in the fall, actually. You
So
sure
this-
the previous people who were there, or?
Was this Pazzo Pizza?
No,
prior?
no. This, yeah, probably was the previous people who were there.
Okay. All right, so I don't have any issues.
Okay.
Looks like you have a very nice, clean establishment.
Yeah, and the picture you're showing there, the front is different. It's mostly they haven't even opened it up, I believe. But it's like French doors type of look.
Yeah.
You
Right.
can't see the place now because of the scaffolding.
Right, yes.
Yeah, there are archways and
Yeah.
Mhm.
Oh, you got it, yeah.
The only thing I had was that, I think the TBD on the like window door opening is. I don't think that's, you're getting started, right? You don't really know how it's gonna go. So, but, I noticed we're lacking a work email address. On the application, so if you could, I don't know if you wanna put that in the chat or just send it to the board office.
It's the email that you have there, natasha.mathalam@gmail is not, you're not having access or any success with that?
No, I was just saying it wasn't in our questionnaire.
Yeah, we have a phone number. We didn't.
There was a phone number, but not an email address.
Okay, I'll get that to your office then.
Wait,
All right, thank you.
Okay.
Any comments from members of the public? No. All right, do I hear a motion of no objection?
Motion to have object.
Sorry. All right.
And we established the hours from 7 AM to 10 PM, 7 AM, correct?
Mhm. Yes,
Is there any objection from the committee? Or there's no objection? Saying no objection is passed unanimously.
okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Okay.
Members of the public, you may wonder why I'm zooming through these things. But 3 or 4 months ago, we had 41 applicants. And we were here till after 11:30, so. We try to make these meetings efficient,
Yeah, keep going.
but it's not always possible. Okay, we good? Okay, item 5, new application and temporary retail permit for on-premises liquor license for Hunter 5-6 LLC doing business as Two Quas at 1072 Second Avenue. Is there a representative available for Two Quas?
Yes, Michael Kelly.
Mr. Kelly, you're such a familiar face at this meeting.
I try to get back every month.
Okay, so this is it's in the old Margari Pizza Restaurant site.
Yes. So we're located at 1072 Second Avenue between 56th and 57th Street. In the space formerly occupied by Daniela Pizzeria. They had an on-premise liquor license from 6/18 to 5/20. Before that, Cafe Daniela. They had an on-premise liquor license from 2011 to May of 2018. I don't believe the recent occupant, Margari Pizza, was licensed. I couldn't find one. So we're a full-service Turkish restaurant. The owner currently operates Turkaz at 310 West 53rd, which has a restaurant wine license. We're within 200 feet of a school there. That's why he has a wine license. He's been open since 2019. Prior to that, he operated Turkaz at 2637 Broadway with an on-premise liquor license from 2000 to 2017 before he lost the lease. So we have a full kitchen, full menu, 16 tables with 41 seats and a 9-seat bar. There's no outdoor seating on this application, but we want to keep the option open. There is a bike lane in front of us, so I was talking with the owner about the only thing he's going to get is a street shed, which he doesn't want. He doesn't want his people walking across the bike lane. There's no way to have a sidewalk cafe. You have a big tree pit there and a Siamese connection. The hours of operation will be 11 a.m. to 12 a.m., 7 days a week. They do have windows that open, which will close by 10 p.m. They have background music. Ali has spoken to some of the neighbors, and so has the landlord. And if there are any questions, we'll be happy to answer them.
There's always been a restaurant there as long as I've lived in the neighborhood. Just keeps changing owners. Any questions from members of the committee? Members of the public? Okay, I have no issues and I recommend a resolution of no objection.
So moved.
Second.
Okay,
John, was that it?
No, I was gonna second, no, it's a great place, that location's wonderful, my kids grew up in Daniela's before, but it was the other ownership, so. Good luck.
Thank you.
Hours again, they're 11 AM to 12 AM, 7 days a week.
11 a.m. I'm sorry, to 12 a.m. Yes.
And did we ask if any members of the public had any comment?
I did, no comments.
That's all. All
Okay, are there any objections from committee members for this resolution? Seeing no objection, unanimously passed. Oh,
Your next time, Mr. Kelly.
Yeah, actually, I think Michael, I think he's got another one here, right?
Yes, the next one.
There you go.
okay. Good to go, Brian?
Yeah.
Okay. New application, temporary retail permit for on-premises liquor license for Table for Three Please LLC, doing business as Cafe Jolie Laidi at 205 East 42nd Street. Is there a representative available?
Hello, my name's Ravenna. I'm one of the owners.
Okay. I noticed on your application, you said you had a licensed outdoor space.
I'm sorry, Anton. I thought the next item was what's now Super Burrito. Third Coast.
Did I miss something here?
Third Coast and Mazu is the current.
Yeah, which I
establishment.
didn't realize it had.
Yeah, that's not our spot.
Yeah, you're number 7 on the agenda.
Oh, I skipped 6. I'm sorry. I did.
But so it's not Mazu?
She isn't, no.
Okay,
I'm not-
let's go back one step.
Are there two?
New application and temporary retail permit for on-premises liquor license for Third Coast LLC, doing business as to be determined at 495 Third Avenue.
But I think it's now, the questionnaire actually said, or something, said Super Burrito. So I think you guys have a name now?
Yes, Super Burrito.
Yeah.
Okay. And we finally did get the questionnaire today.
Yeah.
Yesterday.
A little late. I didn't have any issues or questions from this application. Members of the committee,
But I'm just curious, is Mazu closed?
sorry?
Yeah, it's closed.
Wow.
Yeah.
I did not know that. Okay, so Michael, this might be a question for you, but that I just noticed as I was going through that several of these places have a seating capacity of 74, which is like such a random number.
Okay, I
Do
can
you-
explain that to you.
Yeah,
So it's either you're 74 or under in the city, or once you hit 75, you have to get a public assembly permit, and you have to have that on your CVO. You're gonna walk into places, you'll say, I don't see how they can possibly get 50 people in here, never mind
Yeah.
74, but that's the Department of Buildings. Like when you get a letter of no objection, 99% of the time, it'll be under 75.
okay, because we've noticed that actually on, especially like with street, places where it's like, you're having people sit at like tables that are one by one, like there's no way, so thank you. I knew you would be able to answer that
That
question.
was
Yeah, I
neat.
learned something every meeting. I learned something new. Thank you.
Indeed.
Okay. Okay, do I hear any comments from members of the public? Not hearing any. Do I hear a motion of no objection? Motion. Second,
Okay.
I will be hours from 11 AM to 2 AM, 7 days a week. And no members of the community have any comments for or against.
do I hear no, any objection to this resolution from members of the committee? Hearing no objection, it's passed unanimously. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Have a good night, everyone.
You too. Take
Thank
care.
you.
Hi, thanks.
Okay, now let's get to item number 7, Cafe Jolie Laid. And my first question is that on the SLA application, you indicate that you have a licensed outdoor space.
No, we don't currently have a license. That might have been a mistake. I do plan, I think we could fit maybe like a couple 2 tops there. Oh, I think I intended that to be that we intend to put a couple tables outside. But there's not currently.
Okay. Yes, I noticed on your questionnaire that you intend to apply for sidewalk seating
Yeah.
for 6 to 8 people, as I recall.
Mm-hmm.
But right now you do not have a license. You have not submitted a DOT application either.
Nope.
Okay.
You know, whatever's allowed. I mean, we don't have much, but whatever makes sense for that space would be nice.
Okay, I don't have any further questions, members of the committee? No?
You know, I do.
You do?
Yeah.
Good.
It's the small space. I'm just wondering, are you, kind of just west of the Italian place that's there? Is that's that space that's been empty for a while?
Yep.
So that's great. I live in the neighborhood. I'm glad to see it. And the other thing is, under the LLC ownership question in the questionnaire, it just lists one person. But I assume that it's Alvin and Ravenna, like, are you guys partners in this or?
Yeah, this is my husband.
Like, God bless you that you can like live and work together, you know, like.
We've been doing it for 17 years, so.
Yeah, well, that's great. So, but I mean, the LLC, presumably you're both partners.
Yeah, maybe we're 50-50. Maybe I just filled that out wrong.
Yeah,
But-
it's a minor thing, but we can be very picky here.
If that's the worst you got.
Worst I've got.
By the way, I'm a one-person LLC, so.
No, I know there can be one, but, and I thought, okay, that's what it is, until I got to the additional information, and it said that, you know, Alvin and I are, remember, and it was like, so who's the I here? And then I had seen the Ravenna in the email address. So I was like, oh, that must, as the manager, so I thought that must be it, but I just want to clarify.
I get a resolution, no objection, but we put a stip in there that they will apply for
Yes,
outdoor seating.
yeah.
Yeah.
Which seems so impossible. Like, will it ever be warm again? Yeah.
Oh, don't worry, it will.
Yes, soon we will be
Like a
complaining
winter
about
baby
the
in
heat,
the
right?
end.
Oh, you're a winter baby.
Oh, yeah,
Yeah.
through and through, I'm lonely born. January 12th.
Yeah.
Okay, so whereas the establishment intends to apply for New York City DOT dining out sidewalk seating permit. And the hours of operation again are 7 PM to 4 PM for breakfast and 5 PM to 11 PM for dinner, 7 days a week.
Right, that says PM, AM, PM?
Oh, yes, it should be 7 AM to 4 PM for breakfast and 5 PM to 11 PM for dinner. Is that right?
Yep.
Great. Okay.
Just as an aside, the Jolie LED means beautiful and ugly in French.
Oh.
Thank you.
Nice
You're-
name. Did you-
You're one of the first people that actually knows what that means.
So I assume that's you and your husband.
Oh, I just always liked the, when people ask me, I say it means unconventionally attractive.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So I like the sound of that.
we won't ask who's who.
Yeah.
Okay, do I hear any objection to this resolution? Hearing no objection, this is unanimously passed. Thank you.
Yeah.
Good luck.
Thank you so
Okay.
much. See you guys around.
See you guys there.
Last item on the agenda is a new application, temporary retail permit for on-premises liquor license for M4 Gramercy Park Hotel LLC, M4 Gramercy Park Hotel Tenant LLC, MCR Property Management LLC, doing business as to be determined at 2 Lexington Avenue. New application, temporary retail permit for this was previously heard by the committee and the full board of resolution passed, a resolution of no objection. This is an amended 30-day notice modifying the corporate structure and corporate name and adding security personnel. I see there's going to be a few people talking. We are going to limit strictly to 3 minutes. 3 minutes are going to be cut off. And we have a lot of people here. I understand also that one person is going to be speaking for 4 different individuals. Put their thoughts together, so that one person gets 3 minutes for those thoughts.
No, I think it'll be,
It's
there's
4
4
people.
people speaking in sequence.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you guys gave us a sequence that you are interested in.
4 people speaking, I'm introducing 4.
Oh,
And so I guess I'm one.
So there's-
I'm here for the applicant.
Yeah, so
Mr.
the applicant
Bernstein.
has 4.
If I can at least present why
yeah,
we're here.
you can swallow that. All right. Let's do this, because I'm sure there are questions from both the committee and members of the public. Mr. Bernstein, I'd like you to explain what's going on.
Thank you. If I can just do a very quick review of technology and what we started with in the area. It may take more than 3 minutes, but I hope as the applicant will do it.
Talk fast.
Yeah, yeah.
So we were originally going to file,
And you have 2 audiences here.
okay. Well, okay, so you guys are the buyers, so typically address the committee. We started off with a plan to file for a hotel license and a separate license for the rooftop if you're remember. We presented both to you last April 24th. The rooftop is gonna be a private members club and have its own license, the rest of the hotel will be a hotel license. We came here, we presented, you had a letter of objection, you read that, we discussed it, you voted unanimously, I think, to approve it. We went to the full board on May 14th. Some residents said that they didn't have an opportunity to come here. I'm not gonna get into those issues in the past. The full board decided by a very close vote to send it back to committee. You heard it again for the second time, you approved both applications. Went to the full board then again on May 29th. There was a very spirited debate. At least 20 people came to speak. It went on for a long time, and the full board decisively voted to support your 2 prior approvals, supporting both applications. We since have filed with the State Liquor Authority. Our temporary permit application was already approved. We just filed for the hotel. As you know, this is grandfathered under the 500-foot law, so this application is not a public interest test. State Liquor Authority must approve it, absent good cause shown. Good cause cannot be based on community opposition, opposition. During the pendency of the hotel license application, we made a determination not to file for the roof as a separate application, but to just make it part of the hotel license. That is the only change. Nothing else is different. So what we did was
Will that remain a members only
No.
club?
it would be just open to the public. It's just to be part of the hotel. So, we amended the application. The State Liquor Authority said, since you're amending the application and now you're not doing a separate application for the roof, we're bringing it into the hotel, you have to just adjust the paperwork, send a new notice to the community board showing that we're now licensing the entire building as a hotel and not as 2 licenses. And that's what we did.
Okay, so
So-
one license will cover the 3 liquor venues, 17th floor, ground floor, and the cellar.
And all.
And the hotel.
And the
So,
The hotel.
so like
The
room
whole
service.
building, just as the way it's always been. Now, keep in mind, this hotel's been licensed for 90 years. The entire hotel. I can't tell you how many years the roof has been used, but at least since 2000, early 2000, at least 2003 or 2004. Because I know, because I was involved in that application with Stephen Greenberg acquired the hotel. There have never been restrictions on the license. As far as I know, there have never been stipulations on the license. It's always had 4 AM. And that's what we're filing with, and that's what we disclosed to you, and that's what we approved. So again, this is just a change in paperwork. Nothing new is being licensed than what you approved and heard. There's no change in operation, other than, as you said, the rooftop will now just be open to the public.
Okay, the prior two applications did not have any indication of security. The new one does. Could you explain that, please?
I don't recall that either way. I'd have to check. I don't know if you.
We have copies of the old licenses.
Yeah, maybe. I mean, it's not unusual for a hotel to have security, even if it's a doorman. If you have a doorman and that's security, that's security. We're not talking about anything related to the change of operation with this operation that requires security. So that could have been, I don't think that's a consequential.
I thought one of the previous applications had security.
No, we just tried this.
Okay.
No, sorry. Okay, now you say the rooftop has been open for 90 years.
I don't know if it's been open for 90 years. I know it's been open for at least 20 something years.
Yes. And is there a roller cover on this rooftop?
Yes, so the roller cover will be on the rooftop, and I think we've agreed that at 11 PM. That will be rolled out, so the rooftop will become indoor space.
Okay. All right, good.
So it's only gonna be outdoors till 11.
Sorry, Sylvan?
Only outdoors on the roof till 11 PM.
Okay, all right. Do I hear any questions or comments from members of the committee?
If I could just add, we appreciate the time you spent on this. I know this is the 5th meeting of the community board, the committee or full board. I have never had an application go to the community board that many times. So I do appreciate the time you're taking. And on behalf of my client, myself, we thank the committee and the full board for the support you've consistently.
I'm just gonna try to get out of here before 11:30.
Okay.
We'll take a seat.
Thank you.
If we have any questions, we'll get back to you. Okay. Okay, members of the community, who wants to be?
Like to introduce, but before I just.
First, introduce yourself.
My name is Robert Romano, I'm an attorney, Mr. Burson will not be stipulated. Will be 11 o'clock, roll call, please stipulated. I think we should have a question like this. I'm Robert Romano, I'm an attorney representing the neighborhood working group. And tonight you're gonna hear from neighbors who are speaking on behalf of the NWG. It's a coalition of residents from 9 buildings. They represent more than 700 apartments and over 1,000 people who live immediately adjacent to the proposed hotel. First, you're going to hear from David Johnson. He's a 25-year resident of 1 Lexington Avenue. He's a member of the NWG. David's going to outline why the community supports the reopening of this historic hotel, but also why serious concerns remain regarding MCR Hotel's amended liquor license application. Particularly the shifting scope of operations, late night uses, and a lack of clarity around how the property will be activated over time. Next, you're going to hear from Thomas Lemo, who's a resident of 4 Lexington Avenue, and he also represents the NWG. He'll speak in more detail about the concrete neighborhood impacts that residents are worried about. Thomas will address issues such as crowding, noise, traffic, sidewalk safety, and findings from an independent traffic study, as well as the specific stipulations the community is requesting to ensure hotel activity stays contained within the building and does not overwhelm this residential area. Finally, you're going to hear from Patricia Starr, who has lived at 7 Lexington Avenue for 35 years. Patricia is going to echo these concerns, and she'll highlight that they are shared not only by residents, but also by our elected officials. She will reference statements submitted to the SLA underscoring the risks of transforming this quiet neighborhood into a nightlife destination and urging a fair, transparent process that prioritizes public safety and community input. Together, these speakers represent a consistent message from the surrounding community. We welcome the hotel's return, but we ask that it move forward with clear boundaries, transparency, and enforceable protections for the neighborhood. I would also ask this board to review the required 30-day notice and amended pages as filed, as I believe they raise serious questions as to whether the entire application timing needs to be reset to square one,
This, given the 270-day expiration of the original 30-day notice and the fact that there are new applicant entities, clearly substantial material changes in the application. A change in the name of the applicant entity is generally considered a material change and typically requires a new SOA notice and application rather than being something you can just put in after an initial 30-day notice. So thank you.
Now, I understand that the SLA recommended that you just submit an amended application. Is that true?
They told us to submit an amended application,
All
or
right.
they told us to submit an amended notice to you. And I don't think there's any change in entities. I don't know where that's at.
When I looked at the 30
No new
there were
entities.
new entities that were not there on the original. notice.
There's no new entities are in the picture. Everything's owned by.
Okay, thank you, gentlemen.
They may be on right, but they different entities.
Right here.
No, relax, relax.
All right, so
Have a seat, you can go to the front.
Pardon?
No problem, no, no problem. Sir, please identify yourself.
I'm David Johnson. I'm a resident of 1 Lexington Avenue. I've been there for over 25 years. I'm a member of the Neighborhood Working Group, a coalition of 9 residential buildings representing 70 apartments, and 1,000+ residents immediately adjacent to the Gramercy Park Hotel. We support the reopening of this historic hotel and want it to be commercially successful. However, MCR Hotels is seeking an amended liquor license approval, and we respectfully urge Community Board 6 to fully and carefully consider the serious unresolved concerns of the surrounding residential community as part of its review of the matter and require stipulations as appropriate. Dozens of community members first appeared before the Community Board 6 in June 2025 to raise serious and unresolved concerns about the scope of this project, its operational impact, and the ambiguous plans offered up to the community. We are here again because MCR has returned to CB6 Business Affairs and Licensing Committee due to the need to merge 2 pending liquor licenses. This amendment underscores a core issue. The operational program of this project continues to shift, and its impact is troubling and getting more so over time. For instance, this amendment includes a request, which was not in either of the 2 prior applications, for security, which we read as bouncers for the proposed nightclubs. When plans change or are clarified only at the last minute, it becomes increasingly difficult for neighbors to understand how the property will be activated over time. We're concerned that this is now a 200-room hotel with 800 spots for eating, drinking, and dancing until 4 a.m. The inconsistencies in MCR's communications to your board, to the New York State Liquor Authority, to our elected officials, and to our community raise serious concerns about their transparency and how they plan to operate in our community. We ask that CB6 consider stipulations for the liquor license to respond to neighborhood concerns, which my neighbor Thomas Lemo will discuss shortly. Thank you very much.
Thank you for your input.
Good evening.
Identify yourself.
Yeah. My name is Thomas Lemo, and I'm a resident of 4 Lexington Avenue, the building directly adjoining Gramercy Park Hotel on Lexington Avenue. I'm here representing the Neighborhood Working Group, a coalition of 9 residential buildings representing more than 700 apartments and 1,000+ residents immediately adjacent to the Gramercy Park Hotel. From the outset, residents have raised concerns about the cumulative intensity of the proposed uses, including late night activity, a loud rooftop, large crowds, noise, traffic, and pressure on already narrow sidewalks and predominantly residential area that includes families, seniors, and people with disabilities. The independent traffic study conducted by Thailand has thoroughly reviewed the situation and identified safety and neighborhood impacts that go well beyond what the developer has disclosed or seems to understand. And I encourage you to look at that study thoroughly. Despite repeated requests, our concerns remain largely unaddressed by MCR, raising serious doubts about future hotel operations. Given that MCR is known as a manager of large mid-market chain hotels throughout the country and not known to be a high-end manager fit for the unique demands of the neighborhood like Gramercy, we are particularly concerned that they have yet to take on constructive feedback from the community. We continue to make the following requests, which we believe are reasonable, necessary, and directly responsive to keeping all hotel-related activity contained within the hotel's four walls. requiring rooftop doors, windows, and a roll of cover structures to close by 10 p.m., consistent with NYC noise laws, and at most a 2 a.m. closing. Prohibiting sidewalk queuing or congregating associated with the venue. Restricting the cellar speakeasy to eating, drinking, and background music only, and a 2 a.m. closing. In other words, not a de facto nightclub. Requiring ingress and egress exclusively through the hotel to prevent sidewalk disturbances. Eliminating proposed sidewalk dining, which has not existed in the 100-year history of the hotel from the plan. Banning third-party promoters. Again, in other words, not a nightclub. As we have maintained from the beginning, we welcome this hotel back to our neighborhood and will celebrate its success. However, the scale, configuration, and operating hours of the proposed uses, particularly on the rooftop, have implications that extend well beyond the building itself and directly into the surrounding streets and buildings. I again emphasize the rooftop on behalf of my building, since it faces the interior of the block, where hundreds of residents are exposed to the echoing noise emanating from this venue. I want to underscore the above points to you by emphasizing something very important. These are not hollow speculative concerns. The memory of the problems created by the prior incarnation of the hotel are fresh in our minds. And the incarnation was a significantly smaller operation than what is being asked for today. For instance, there was no outdoor seating and no basement venue in the prior hotel. The matter in front of us today is the number one concern for the shareholders of my building. Everyone is concerned that days of drunken disorderly activity, unaddressed 311 calls, and cacophonous noise from the rooftop will return without intervention from this board.
All right, thank you. I have two questions for you. One, you indicated in my letter also that there was a traffic study. Do you think it would have been appropriate to share this with the community board? Because we have not seen this.
Absolutely easy to share with you.
Well, it would have been nice to have it in here.
Yeah, the second thing is, I'd like you to tell me which law requires that the structures close their windows at 10 o'clock.
Yeah.
I've
Well, it
not
says
seen that.
midnight.
This is something we've been dealing with for many years.
Yeah.
Sidewalk dining on premises is as of right. The only thing they don't even have to go to the DOT. The only permission they would need is from the Department of Health to set up sidewalk dining. If they want to serve liquor, then they have to go to the SLA and provide an alteration agreement to serve liquor. But the fact that they are allowed to, as of right, to have sidewalk dining within the footprint of the hotel, I don't think is something that we can address over here.
Yeah.
It's as of right.
Could I answer?
Yes.
I think that the spirit of what I'm trying to get across is the aggregation of rights that are being sought after.
I'm sorry, the what?
The aggregation of rights that you guys have that are being asked for. And within your purview, a recommendation of liquor laws, you have the ability to weigh in on the totality of it, even though you may not have jurisdiction over every single piece of it. So just trying to paint a picture of the neighbor who lives in the community, as you've done with a lot of the residents and businesses who have shown up, just for preservation of the lifestyle, the neighborhood community, and just to consider everything that goes into play here, even if you may not have direct control over each and every piece of it, to paint a picture for you of what it's like being proposed is very important. That's the only purpose.
All right, thank you.
I appreciate your time. Thank you.
Hi, I appreciate the
Please
opportunity.
identify yourself.
Okay, Patricia Starr. I live at 7 Lexington, directly across the street from the hotel, and live in an apartment with a view of the hotel that looks onto Lexington Avenue. I appreciate the opportunity to address this committee. I have lived there for 35 years, where I've raised my 2 children with my husband. I want to echo what my neighbors have said about the inconsistency from MCR hotels and the serious concerns our community has about the impact of these venues. We are not alone in our concerns. I would like to point out that elected officials representing this neighborhood shared theirs with the state liquor authority with regard to MCR's pending liquor license application for the hotel and the roof. Councilmember Epstein, then an assembly member, wrote in his letter, I quote, "These neighbors are rightfully concerned that the current proposal represents a significant shift in use and character, threatening to transform this quiet residential area into a nightlife hub." In their own letter, Senator Christian Gonzalez and then Councilwoman Carlina Rivera wrote, I quote, Our neighbors are asking for a fair process, one that includes meaningful consultation, prioritizes public safety, and ensures that changes to the neighborhood serve the community. Let me add a personal close as a mother, as a financial executive, as a 35-year resident and a 20-year building board member. We suffered with the last owners of the hotel and the issues that have been talked about. This owner is more or less doubling the capacity for eating, drinking, and dancing with 2 venues proposed till 4 a.m. Our family and hundreds of others, we need to eat, sleep, do homework, get to work. This will be a nightmare with double the traffic, with double drunken screaming after the last call, and double the cars idling to pick up the partiers and the patrons. This neighborhood will be unsafe and unworkable if these plans proceed unchecked. Please help us rein them in. And I urge this committee to take our concerns and the concerns of these elected officials into consideration tonight.
Thank you.
And question.
Just, by the way, just to make it clear, these letters that were sent to us are all part of the record
Okay.
that, Unity Board 6 keeps for these types of applications.
No.
I don't like something on security, because I just found out something going on with it.
1 minute. 1 minute.
Oh, yeah, the SLA in a notice to us asked us to identify that there would be security, and I think the New York Safe Hotels Act, that is the new law, requires security in hotels. So,
And the reason I understand that you're folding it in is also because of the change of law. Because from the nonprofit, for-profit.
that doesn't really factor into it. It just is easier just to do it all as one hotel license.
Okay.
So once we told the state liquor authority that we're gonna do that, they said amend your application, we'll take the amendment and re-notify the community board so that they know it's one application and not two, that's all. And I understand all their concerns, but this is the same stuff that was heard at the.
Okay, thank you. Who is next to speak?
Maybe Marlene. Yeah, I'm happy to speak. Can I sit and read? I can get up. We can get a chair. How about we get a chair for us? I mean, I can stand up.
I'm not sure. It's Jack.
Yeah, I don't know what that is, but you could.
No, I'm okay, thank you. Good evening, I'm Arlene Harrison, President of the Gramercy Park Block Association. In April 2025, our group spoke to the Business Affairs and Licensing Committee in favor of MCR's application for a hotel liquor license based on MCR's decision to lovingly restore rather than demolish the hotel. We appreciated their reputation for stewardship of historic properties and their stated commitment to prioritize our neighbors' quality of life. However, during the CB6 process that followed, many of our neighbors raised concerns about specific aspects of MCR's plan: the rooftop private club, the cellar speakeasy, and the extensive sidewalk dining. To address these concerns, we reached out to MCR, expecting assurances consistent with their prior commitments to the community. Instead of constructive engagement, the MCR made it clear they're not willing to discuss any aspect of the future operations of these 3 venues, not even a commitment to close the rolling rooftop cover at 10 p.m. because their plans for these spaces were not yet finalized. In the absence of any assurances from MCR regarding their plans for the hotel, we withdrew our support for their application, even while we remained hopeful that when the plans were clearer, these plans would be consistent with the one we were promised: a quiet hotel with top-tier restaurant and a private rooftop members club. We're back here tonight because the plans are clearer and the picture coming into focus is troubling. We were hoping for a hotel appropriate for a unique, highly residential community. Instead, we now see a distinct shift away from the initial vision toward a downtown hotel and a public nightclub combination with nightclub securities. This is along the lines of the public hotel that has caused upset to the residents of CB3 and a highly public dispute over the past year. We urge this board to reject these changes. We encourage MCR to come back to the community to drop the plans for nightclub security personnel and to discuss stipulations, including closing the roll-up cover roof enclosure at 10 p.m., preventing outdoor queuing, and reining in their sidewalk dining plans. We believe these steps will help safeguard our neighbors' quality of life and ensure that the Gramercy Park Hotel is a treasured asset to our community for the next century. That's why we're here.
All right, thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you.
Anybody else?
Sean Brady. I want to address two issues really quick.
I'd like you to address.
Oh, sure, Sean
you
Brady.
are.
Yeah, I'll address that first. Sean Brady. A neighbor across from the hotel. I'm actually the source of many of the 311 calls about the late night parties that they used to have on top of the hotel. And I made so many of those calls along with all of my neighbors that when I remember before this board, when the liquor license for Myalino, which is one of the quietest, nicest places in our whole neighborhood ever, came up, and the community board actually asked the representative to come in and held up the proceedings until they could confirm that all of these 311 complaints at the address of to Lexington were actually nothing to do with Myalino, but all about the rooftops.
That was the Danny Meyer
The
restaurant.
Danny Meyer restaurant, yeah, so it was an interesting bit of confusion, but the confusion was because has been an eyesore for the neighborhood. As you mentioned, there's no law that says you have to close your doors at 10. But as you know, even you were discussing tonight, but I've seen it many times before. You often ask applicants if they have French doors to close them at 10. The noise law kicks in at 10. That's why people pick that number. And by the way, the noise law didn't just invent 10 p.m., right? That's based on when kids need to get to sleep. And there's children, if you obviously know the hotel, there's children whose bedrooms are literally exactly 50 feet away, right? And so if we're asking them to close the rooftop at 11, we're saying kids go to bed at 11 whenever it's warm weather. And the more normal thing to do would be to ask them to close it at 10. I initially supported the hotel's application because I had been assured, and I even asked Tyler on the night that I gave my speech in favor of the hotel, are you planning to enclose the rooftop? And he said yes. And so I got up based on a mistaken impression that I got directly from Tyler that the rooftop would be enclosed, period. I even sent him a picture of what an enclosed rooftop is. I sent Tyler a picture of the top of the Ritz-Carlton. They have a beautiful rooftop that's fully enclosed. That's what an enclosed rooftop is. Based on that, I said, we won't have any more problems with the rooftop. That's one. And so I strongly urge the committee to ask the applicant to stipulate 10 p.m. closing for the rooftop, much as you would stipulate for even a small place, even a cafe, right, on a residential and commercial street, but this is a really residential. So that's my one point. Second point is on security. This has been a red line many times before this community. We had a supposed Michelin restaurant many years, 10 years ago at least.
Before my time.
Before your time. And they came in, they were gonna have full service meals, and it was gonna be great and everything. And then they wanted to have security. And then we drilled down, right? Paige, Judge may remember that, right? They also didn't have an accessible entrance, I remember, Paige, which was one of your issues. But we drilled down and found out that they really wanted to run a club, right? If you just bring me 1 second. Security is not required. I do not believe security is required at hotels. I looked at liquor licenses for nice hotels like the Waldorf. Security under the liquor law is something different from what you think about. It is absolutely not a door. In fact, there's precedent from the liquor licensing authority to say even the people who check IDs at the door do not have to be licensed security. Licensed security, these people go through 8-hour training. They are licensed as well under New York security law, and they're bouncers. It's the same, it's used interchangeably in the liquor law with bouncer. These are people who at least 50% of their job is to break up fights, right? We do not need, if they get bouncers, they can run a club. If they don't get bouncers, they will not be able to run a nightclub.
Thank you.
And
Thank you.
one last, sorry.
Please,
I know.
way over
Yeah,
time.
My last point is if, okay, well, all right.
Thank you.
Chair, did you want the citation on the 10 p.m. law?
Yes.
It's the New York City Noise Code, section 24-218, that's the 10 p.m.
That's, yes, the notice.
Mr. Bernstein?
A couple of things, if I can just respond. I mean, there's some claim that, first of all, that we haven't engaged in constructive engagement. I know Tyler and his team have spoken with you, Arlene, for years. And you were the group, that was the group that we were told speak to the block association. The block association represents the neighbors. Tyler and his team engaged with them for years.
That was only
Excuse me, I didn't interrupt you.
when they first came in.
Please,
Seriously, like, he's not interested.
And everything was disclosed. We knew Tyler, they knew the method of operation. There is nothing new here. All the objections we're hearing were heard full board. The full board voted overwhelmingly to approve it. I can send you the email. I can't do it now. The SLA asked us to change, to put in security. As a result of that request, we put it in the notice. Also, I want to remind you that we had an acoustic study done, which we gave you back last April. We had Alan Firestein from Acoustalog, the top acoustician in the city, did a study and confirmed that with limiters on the sound system and performing the recommendations that he gave us in the report, that it would not be a disturbance. Tyler Morris is I think the third largest hotel owner in the country. He has two iconic hotels here, the Highline and the TWA Hotel, neither of which are problematic. Some of the prior operators were club guys. Ian Schrager, very different. Egan Greenberg operated the club, 235th, the rooftop club bar. Tyler Morris doesn't have a history of running nightclubs. You keep calling it a nightclub. It's not a nightclub. It's referred to as a bar and speakeasy in the basement. We're not getting bouncers. We're getting security that is required that hotels have to keep people in the hotel safe. You know, there are a lot of, what, 200 some odd rooms in this one. I mean, that's a good thing to have some security. So again, nothing is changing. This is a paper change. And you've heard all of this before. And again, I appreciate the support you've given so far, and I hope you continue to support this.
Thank you. I have a general question. Yes, and then this traffic study, did it take into account the new building being built at 38 Gramercy Park East? 20-story condominium, 57 condominium units.
Yes, you're talking about the building that's on the northeast side of Gramercy Park.
Yes.
Yes, it did take in that consideration.
Yes,
No, I'm
oh, okay.
processing.
And I think it would be appropriate, whoever commissioned this study would keep the community board in loop on this. If this is the issue one of the issues that the community is concerned about, well, then we in the community board should be privy to that information.
Yeah. But I mean, I think we should have, and frankly, the fact that these letters with kind of new information came to the community board at 4
Yesterday
o'clock.
afternoon, yeah.
Oh, was it 4?
That was
Yesterday?
today, yeah.
Today at 4 o'clock, like,
This
No,
was
I'm just saying.
posted- Well,
It's just
but this was just posted on Friday, right before Blizzard. We did not realize that there was
I'm just
we
saying.
didn't realize
I-
until very recently that there was this meeting.
literally did not have a chance to, like, I do not live on my email. I have other things to do.
Yeah.
Of course.
And so
Of course.
I did, like, I haven't had a chance to read them yet.
We didn't know about the meeting until just recently.
No, I think you could totally support here that nobody is
Sorry,
procrastinating.
This meeting was on CB6's website for at least a week
We,
or
we,
more.
we did say that in April, in May, and in June of last year, when everyone came to these meetings. I'm a new board member. I remember full board and these meetings. This is public.
Yeah.
This is, we've done our due diligence of making sure that you have the information in advance. So that is a request of reciprocity.
Yeah, I don't think anybody's casting dispersions on.
Well, what I'm hearing is you didn't know that there was a meeting. But that's what I'm saying.
Jesus
is-
Perez from Community Board 6 sent us the notice on Friday, and we immediately posted it on Friday when he sent it to us.
Yeah.
Right.
And that's what you received, which from us this week. It's a large group of people in the neighborhood. It takes a lot to.
I understand, yeah.
We're trying to be respectful and coordinated.
you can.
It's also, I mean, I'm just saying, you're asking us to make a decision based on information that we kind of haven't been able to process.
Right.
Including like, I haven't read these letters, I haven't seen the, you know, the traffic study, like, we still haven't received that.
Yeah.
I don't know, I haven't had a chance.
We can get it to you. I mean, let's take the
I
time.
know, but like, we kind of need to take a vote on this.
Yeah,
And
we
not-
had
Why
certain-
tonight?
Certain, we have certain
It's on the agenda.
responsibilities.
Well,
too,
we
you
have,
know.
and we have certain legal, like, timelines
Sure.
that we have to meet.
Right.
And I don't know, like, one of the other questions I have, and I'm sorry, because I am certainly sympathetic to you as somebody with a daycare center outside my window that has a giant drum that I do not enjoy listening to, but you know, how can you get mad at the kids, right? So, but the other thing is, like, one of my other questions, may I?
Sure, of course.
Have we gotten anything like your quote in the electeds? Have we gotten stuff from our elected officials about this?
And they were.
They were
quoted
sent for the
for
SLA. We were under the impression that our next venue was the SLA.
Yes.
So I think it's very important to convey you, because of the last meeting, knowing the procedure, we were under the impression our next venue and our next audience was the SLA. And I think that was a reasonable impression that we were under. So that's where and so we just found out about this. We had to collect all of the buildings and the individuals in our community, align on our position very quickly and come in front of you. And so I appreciate your points about, we can get a folder package together for you, but honestly, we were under the impression we were waiting for an SLA and hoping for a hearing, and so this is.
You're right for that. The community board spoken multiple times on this already. Let them then go to the SLS.
So, but the neighborhood working group is not like a brand new thing, right?
No.
Which is why we were surprised that you didn't come to us.
We did. We came to the block association. We're talking to the block association for years.
Not for years.
For a long time.
It's not
No.
true.
It can't be years.
That's not true.
Yeah, so
It's about the-
the first thing, I'd like to just say, because you keep making this point, I
Yeah.
apologize, I'm gonna take additional time, but I'll just take 1 minute. That when Tyler Morris himself personally came to us, the very first thing we said to him is, you've got to enclose the rooftop. We then sent him a beautiful little memo that showed what an enclosed rooftop is. And there was a picture of the top of the Ritz-Carlton, which has a beautiful rooftop. It's called rooftop, but
you
it's
mentioned.
fully enclosed, right? And so everything that you say about we worked with you, you tricked us. On my way to give my testimony in favor of the hotel, I shook Tyler's shoulder and I said, you're enclosing the rooftop, right? Because I just wanted to be 1,000,000% sure before I stuck my neck out and spoke for Tyler on behalf of the community. And he looked me in the eye and he said, yes. I then sat 6 feet away from him and explained that he was going to fully enclose the rooftop, so it could not be opened during the summer. You can go back and you can listen to my testimony. That's 6 feet away from Tyler. And he did not once say, oh, sorry, you misunderstood. I meant that I'm just gonna do the same thing that Greenberg did and Schrager did, which is have a rolling cover.
So does the rolling cover?
That's his engagement, sorry, that's his engagement with the community. So
No, no.
any discussion of engagement with community, right, is not a positive for Tyler. It is a big fat black mark.
Thank you. Paige?
Can I just respond to that real quick? The whole community has known that this was gonna be a roller.
You're not recognized.
Right.
Paige?
Yes, to begin with, this is my opinion. Since supposedly officials have made comments, why didn't you bring those comments to the community board tonight that we could see them? But other than that, I think we should get a copy of this study.
Yeah.
And folks to find out from the officials what they have to say. I mean, there are a lot of good points to this. And it is true what Sean said before about the former Gramercy. Well, we did recommend a Michelin star restaurant and it turned out to be a disaster. But with that, we should give one more chance. Is there a time limit on this thing?
Brian, that's what I was wondering too, like, can this hold over?
This is a 6th time. We gotta get it. We have done the right thing every step of the way, and I don't think we're coming back a 6th time.
I'm not asking,
Okay.
I'm not asking.
And I
I'm not-
appreciate all the work that you've done, but that's not fair.
What
We
I'm
don't
asking
know what.
when it's gonna go up to SLA.
Voted repeatedly on this one. It should not
We
be
do a
voted.
conditional approval for them. I mean, it's kind of deferring
Oh,
some of
could
our
you talk about
responsibilities.
it if I can hear you?
Yeah, it's kind of deferring, and this is a question for the committee, sorry
Mm-hmm.
to specify. But we do a conditional approval that the SLA take into consideration the other things and specify in our resolution that this is the sixth time, you know, that this is the however many times that they've come to us. Or does it defer? No, you don't like that, Anton?
I would just like to
Mr.
get up.
Bernstein.
If you get me, but I've filed dozens of hotel licenses and I've never once been told you have to have security. I just want to get that on it, that.
We can send you the email.
I
proof of
find,
SLA.
but there may be a reason.
Okay,
Did you send it?
crosstalk is not.
Yeah. But if we could see the email, it would be helpful.
We can see the
I'm
tracker
sorry,
before
you,
we move on.
have a question, comment?
No, but
No,
I'm
no,
gonna vote all-
Gentleman,
all day.
in sweater.
I have one other question I have. Somebody said something about a stipulation of that you can't get to the bar except through the hotel. And I'm just kind of visualizing the space, like how else would you get to the bar?
Side door.
Side.
The old,
But
the
just
old,
because we
You
go
have to
to
be
the
on-
side door
yeah,
and
yeah,
there's.
you're right on the side.
The sidewalk in, lights and we've had, yeah,
There's somebody in the back right in there.
I can answer
Yes.
that question for you,
okay,
if you want.
that'd be great.
Please identify yourself.
My name is Pete Foster. I'm with MCR. I've been working on this project for 2.5 years since day one. I know Arlene, I know David. I have a direct line with them. They know they have a direct line with me. I text, call, email, everything. There are a few things here. One, ma'am, I just want to answer your question. It depends on which bar you're talking about. If you're referring to the former Myelino space, you can enter from the lobby or from the street directly. If you're referring to the Rose Bar, you can enter from the street or from the lobby, all the same. It just depends on which bar you're referring to. Also, just really quickly, the characterization that we need to enclose the roller cover by X time obviously insinuates that there's enough noise being generated that we need to enclose something and capture something, right? But it's a mischaracterization entirely of the rooftop. It's not going to be a nightclub. How many times do we have to say it? I work with the architects and engineers and the acoustician every day. We are not designing a nightclub. Please believe us. The sins of Ian Traeger are gone.
So if I could respond to that, if that's the case, then sticking to covering it is very easy. It's a very, very simple matter. The other point is that I don't know if you visualize this rooftop. It is on the back of the hotel facing the interior of the block. There are buildings surrounding that interior, windows, hard surfaces. Sound travels. You can hear my voice. I'm not.
Vibration.
It travels extensively. I had a shareholder in my building who had the means to sue the hotel previously and was able to get them to pay to do noise mitigation material on their windows. It's just the way that sound travels. It's physics. That's the way it works. Nightclub or not. And if you're not using, if you don't plan to have a nightclub, very simple. Let's codify it. It's not that complicated.
Thank you.
Yes, that's why we have sound stuff.
And just to put different pieces to the sound piece.
I'm sorry, could you speak up, please?
Put the pieces together, 'cause that's just how my brain works. It's a request, not a demand. You're being a good neighbor for the roof if that's a conversation that you're talking about. The enclosure to, is it David? Pete, sorry. That can be an agreed upon condition.
100%.
Right, working as good neighbors, that would be something you could facilitate yourselves. But to the point of what happened before versus what's happening now, that you also have to be good neighbors to commercial neighbors. And that they're in good faith.
Yeah.
They did do a study, you're talking about a different study for a different issue, I understand. But they're all different parts of the same issues.
Yeah.
working together is something that you're both going to have to do as good neighbors and partners. That's not also something that we're gonna be able to fix tonight. Yeah.
Would you guys, do you consider the roll closing
Roll recovery.
sufficient, the roll recovery, thank you, to address your, the noise concerns?
It's just one.
It's one of,
No, no, does it,
On the roof.
right,
Yeah.
like, do you
Yes.
consider
Just
the,
noise, just me.
how would you guys feel about saying you close that at 10 instead of 11?
I think 11 is the time that we want to close.
I'm sorry, you're saying
So you wouldn't be willing to
You're
stipulate
saying
that it's for 10
the
o'clock?
law, the 10 o'clock
So it would be 11.
civil,
I just feel like I'm
So
trying to
close.
get into
We're so
guessing,
close.
you know, like,
100%.
so.
And I think that the issue with the roll cover with respect to noise is a roll cover is immensely helpful. Noise mitigation, if you're familiar with it, has to do with the materials and architecture
Yeah.
of town. And I understand there's a study done, but you have to comply with the decibel rule. That's the biggest thing. The cover obviously gets you there in a large part, but ultimately you have to comply with decibel. That's really what it comes down to. But 10 PM, we said that from the beginning.
this gentleman's
I
next.
just want to ask an actual question. I read the noise study because Tyler gave it to us a long time ago, and it's been since that very first meeting that we attended, so I can't remember exactly every part of it. I do not recall any part of it that addressed the noise when the roll cover was open, but maybe it's in there. I remember it addressing the noise when the roll cover is closed, which is exactly what we all think, right? It stands to reason.
Yeah.
I'm just,
I think it was spoken to at our.
I'm Vince Barry, I'm a neighbor, I just want to react to the woman, I'm so sorry, ma'am. I didn't get your name, it's hard to hear.
Pat,
Okay, I wanted to address what you said, which is, can't you work these things out? Did I get that correctly, as neighbors? Is that what you said?
work as two different residential and commercial, they're two different neighbors.
Right.
Yeah.
This is part of what we're asking for. They don't want to talk. Okay, they basically responded to CB6 committee. And they said, you gotta go back and talk. There were perfunctory meetings. We'd love to talk. We wanted to participate in the studies that we did. No interest. Okay, we really want to speak and have a dialogue. That is something we've been denied. All right, we fought for it. So when you say, can you work it out? Can you talk? We want that. We'd like to have that. We've been denied it.
You need to say verbal communicate.
We had no input.
I also know.
And we all lived the old hotel, and this is the old hotel on steroids in terms of numbers of people alone. In a single block that ends at, you know, I don't know if you're familiar, but the hotel ends at the end of Lex. Total bottleneck. Today, this afternoon, I was home honking in the hotel shutter. Everybody just sits on their horn, it's a bottleneck, once you start opening up five-star
Yes, I hear you.
hotel, there's
And I
people
think- I think
coming, going in cars.
We talked
Yeah.
about this last time,
Yeah,
and one of the main issues is that the parking regulations, which is no parking and no standing around there, are not being enforced. So you get down to one lane instead of two lanes around Gramercy Park.
And especially with all the snow, right?
Yeah.
I just want to say, and I've said this before, this community board has already voted on this multiple times. I think the vote was about 29-8 for the full board approved it. All of these concerns are addressed. There were 20 people, 30 people that spoke at a full board meeting. I don't think they should be all regurgitated again and put to a vote again because we're making a paper change. That's all it is a paper change. And you've already heard this, and I don't think it's fair, and I appreciate your time. Don't think it's fair to my client to reopen this after it's already been approved and voted on. And I know we had to amend the notice, but again, we only had to amend it because we're filing one application instead of two. And
That's good.
And it should not be reopened.
With the different entity.
It's not a different entity, Bob. It's
Also,
not,
I mean,
it's the same.
I'm a lawyer, everything is paper change, it's, I can, as a lawyer, you can phrase everything as paper change. The roof was previously supposed to be a private club, which denotes hanging out, conversations.
And now
That's
it'll
it.
be, now it'll be open to the community.
That's a big difference.
That's a big difference.
Is there gonna be music
You
and
get to,
dancing?
you get to go.
I'd love to go. I used to go all the time. I love
You
it.
know,
I also.
You can-
Okay, thanks, now, John, there you go, you get to go to former private club.
In fun?
It is a change. I could have gone into.
Does anybody want to make any any motions?
Yes, sir.
One of the issues here is not just, hey, do we open it for, do we close it for, do we roll it up at 11? One of the issues that has been brought up that I want to make sure it is a separate issue than the logistics we're talking about is the lack of transparency, is the lack of consistency. Okay, it isn't just this issue versus that issue, it's this issue now. Oh, wait, now it's this issue. They're not transparent, they're not consistent. Private club to public club, the implications of that are huge. The issue I'm bringing up is, what is it? Will it be stipulated?
Right.
Will it stick to one story?
Even
So we're having a
really
close-
unfair,
we're having-
even the 11 o'clock closing, they won't stipulate to that.
There's,
Say,
we said that we close it.
you said
It's
it,
not
You
true.
said it.
You said it, you stipulate it's part,
No, it's on stipulation. No,
it's part of our method of operation on file.
Where is that? Can you find that?
Paperwork
We
matters.
agreed-
We have agreed, we've already agreed.
Let's just verify this one point.
Yeah, but Mr. Bernstein, you said before that you'll close the structure roller cover at 11 o'clock.
Correct.
In the evening.
Yes, which was, we said months ago. It's not new.
Yes, sir.
Okay, one, that's not in their method of operation, and they did not make this stipulation. They're just saying that, and we asked.
We've
for a
always said it.
stipulation. Well, then
You're
you
a
might
lawyer.
offer a stipulation, you're a lawyer. Lawyers write things down. That's when you're making a commitment to the community, especially when you've said things before that turn
Have it
out to
on-
be false.
You have it on tape.
Stop.
That, we're not,
Yeah.
not gonna go back. That's one. Second thing is, he has said that the SLA has required you to have security. They send you a letter saying you must have security or
I
you'd
have to
like
look
to have
at, I
security.
have to look at the word.
And you're not able to do that now, even though you have a laptop right in front of you. Okay, so he's saying,
I don't have
he's
a
saying.
laptop in front of me.
Whatever, gentlemen, I can't hear both of
He
you.
does. He's saying that he said separately that the SLA specifically requested that they have security. And that the New York Safe Something Hotels Act requires that a hotel have security of the type that they have checked off, right? Security has a special meaning under the ABC law. These are bouncers. So he's saying that the New York hotel law requires hotels to have bouncers, right? I suggest
That's not what
that
I
if
said.
what did you say?
I'm not repeating myself because you didn't understand it. I'm not, sorry.
There's some
I mean,
sort
I
of,
was
they are
respectful.
somehow required. I'm saying that ticking off security is optional and allows them to have a nightclub. They are saying they're somehow required either by the SLA or by a New York law, which he said before, but now he doesn't stand up to. They're somehow required to have it. If you're gonna vote on this, one of the whereas clauses should be, whereas it was represented that the applicant was somehow by some mysterious force, whether coming from the SLA or from some state law, which he's not standing up to, even though he's a lawyer, to have security, comma.
You know, you guys
they
have
have
insulted
security.
me and my client for months.
Show
And
us
and you know what?
the
You
law.
made a good comment. Being a good neighbor works both ways.
Yes.
It works both ways.
It started
And I
out.
want to say something about security. I want to say, and then I'm done talking.
It started great, being a
Excuse me.
good neighbor,
Excuse me.
and then it stopped.
I do not interrupt when you speak. Security is such a non-issue at the state liquor authority that they passed an advisory a year ago that says, if you have a liquor license and you're gonna add security, you don't have to come to us. And if you don't have security, I'm sorry, if you don't have security and you're gonna add security, you don't have to come to us. And if you have security and you're gonna take it away, you don't have to come to us. You used to have it. That's, you want security, fine, you don't want security, fine. It's a non-issue. So
then why?
they're making, I'm sorry.
Take it off.
They're making this
Add it later.
into the
Don't
issues.
Wait a minute.
Everything
Let me
has
see.
changed. Now everything has changed because they checked off security. We're not gonna have bouncers. They're misrepresenting what we're doing. They're misrepresenting what we said.
Clearly.
We have 5 times we've explained what we're doing publicly. We've talked to your group for, if not years, many months. There is nothing new here, other than we're collapsing it into one license. I really have nothing else to say. I would like you to vote. Whatever their issues are, they have an opportunity to go to the SLA. The community board has spoken multiple times, tonight will be the 5th time. I sure hope we don't come back, because we're not coming back. And I mean no disrespect to you guys at all. I just think it's not fair. It's not fair. I've been doing this for 30 years. I have never been to a community board this many times. And again, I'm not faulting you. I totally respect the process. I truly do. But frankly, we're done here. You voted, and we appreciate you put in hours and hours hearing this. There's nothing new. It should be rehashed. Let them go to the SLA. They can speak there. They've got a lawyer. Let them speak there. And that's, I would ask you to take a vote again. Or not take a vote, and just say it's what was voted on stands. I don't even know if you have to take a vote. That's up to you all.
Yes.
I think our position is that your role is.
Please stop.
Sure.
John?
Yeah, first of all, I apologize, I'm not there. I don't want to give anybody what I have, so. But, we've listened to this many times. And this is now highly visible in the community. And my inclination is that I've heard really nothing new tonight that I hadn't heard before. And, you know, it's very clear that this will be under scrutiny at the SLA, and it will be under scrutiny as it operates. And I'm inclined to stick with what we have done in the past on this, realizing how difficult it is for some members of the community. That's how I see it.
Where you want it?
Any further comments from committee? Further comments from the community? Yes, Kat.
I think as just a note and in good behavior, as I represent CB6 for all partners going forward, the ones that we've met earlier today, the ones that are representing this issue. When you talk about transparency, sir, I'm not pointing it at you. What it means is both or more parties coming together and identifying what that transparency is, not coming with a bias. I'm not saying you do, but not coming from the framework of what transparency means to you versus what it means to all parties. So I'm just saying that we're not the bad guys here. We want to reserve the peace and where everybody wins, as Anne said. But I just want to check this out because it is something that you're going to probably have to deal with multiple commercial partners in the future. Or maybe residential, there's a building being raised in your neighborhood.
You had further comments? I'm sorry, were you done?
No, that's just a comment that I wanted to state.
Can I call the question?
Good, so we do have we have a raised hand from Mr. Michael Silver on Zoom. Mr. Silver?
Yeah, I was just trying to come off camera. Hold on. As a member of the neighborhood working group, I just want to reinforce there is new news, and there are a lot of people asserting that there isn't new news. The change of a club from a private club to a public venue, the addition of security, and compare the names of the legal entities on the application. There is clearly some sort of change of ownership because there were two different owners for the two different entities, the roof versus the rest hotel, and now there's one. Collectively, these are material. We understand that CB6 has been very patient for a long time. We also understand that the developer has not, to our satisfaction, engaged. But we really do want to reinforce that there is new news, and that's what brought our neighbors back here today.
No change in ownership. That's completely false.
Right.
Right. There's also, we have a speaker slip for Cindy Malloy, David Siegel. Cindy, would you like to
Say that I joined in all the other speakers from the neighborhood working group, and I am a member of that group.
Thank you. Short and sweet. All right.
Much appreciated.
My feeling is no matter what decision we will make, nobody's gonna be happy.
Sometimes that's the best outcome, right? What they say in politics.
That
no
means we're
one's
doing
happy.
the right thing.
Only they said that they wouldn't come back to speak to you. And I would find that disrespectful. The committee will come back to speak to you as many times as you make yourself available. If their attorney represented to you, that they won't come back to speak to you anymore, that they're essentially done with you, which I think represents what we felt. So just wanted to throw that out on the record.
That is-
Here as many times as you want to speak here.
That is their prerogative.
100%.
We're actually told tonight that we did not have to go.
Yeah. Legally speaking,
But
you are not
we won't be
required
able.
to appear.
So we do
All
not
right.
disrespect you in the process. Well,
All right. I would like to hear a resolution, if we're all agreed, to send this to the state liquor authority with no comment. I'll let them hash it out.
Yeah, I mean, so with, that's like a reso of no comment?
Yeah.
John?
I would second that.
Okay, do I hear a resolution of no comment be submitted to the full board before it goes to the state liquor authority?
You're gonna be there, right? Cause I don't wanna handle it.
No. I just,
I'm vice chair, yeah.
as a sidebar here,
thank you.
being a lawyer, not a lawyer, but somebody who has in his career financed many buildings, hotels. The situation of changing plans is very common. Very, very common. And I managed in my career in the past to manage hotels. And yes, no hotel operates without security, like they don't operate without maintenance people, like they don't operate with front and back office people, like they don't operate restaurants with front and back office. So the aspect of changing your mind or changing plans is not unusual. And I'm gonna stop editorializing now.
Thank you. Appreciate your time.
Okay.
What do you think, Ron?
Reading the questionnaire that we sent you and the people. Says, will your establishment be using a security slash door person? The answer to be determined. But we did not. Oh, no, Mr. Mr.
Okay, I can't read it from here.
See what the decision is.
I'm sorry,
Basically,
We just get here.
just,
Yeah.
we haven't finished yet.
Sorry. Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, my vision is bad.
Yeah, so the resolution of no comment for the new applicant, temporary retail permit on the premises, yada yada. Today's date, Donna Bernstein, attorney, and Tyler Morris.
Yeah.
It just, yeah,
I think it looks good.
yeah, it says, has no comment.
Okay. Okay. Do I hear any objection to this resolution from any member of the committee? Hearing no objection, the resolution is passed unanimously.
Okay. Resolution is with no comment, is that?
Yeah.
Correct.
Thank you very much. We had a
Thank you.
very robust discussion. I appreciate everybody's input. This is more, nearly as much input as we get for cannabis applications.
Seriously, I was wondering, if some of these people were here smiling. Yeah.
I think that was a good wrap up, Anton.
Yes.
Okay, we're not finished yet. It's only 8:20. We're gonna go to 11 o'clock.
taking my indication from the crowd.
Anyway,
Visual dictator. Hey, so nice.
there's report.
Yeah.
Okay,
No, I- just in case people.
a new adult manual has been drafted.
A new what manual?
New belt manual for members of the committee, new members of the committee. I will have Brian, you will send the draft out to members of the committee so they make their comments. And I'm gonna suggest we're gonna have an appendix with things that, what's her name, Ann, turn. In terms of what to look for in applications.
Thank you.
Thank you.
As I used to be in real estate 25 years.
I've been international. The hotels I managed were workouts in St. Martin, and St. Croix.
Damn.
Not bad.
I could use some work in St. Martin. I.
Oh.
Just so you know.
Okay,
Again,
so that would be distributed and.
in terms of quality, not
I
quantity.
would appreciate your, it's not necessarily do it by next month, but just have a thought about
Oh, yeah.
this. And,
I'll either do it right away or it won't happen.
no, I mean,
As in so many things in life, right?
yeah, well, the executive committee is working on, instructions for committee chairs and what to, how to conduct meetings and so things like that. So we're looking at that. Okay, I don't know if this is out of our district by 2 blocks, but the new men's shelter is being proposed at 61st and First Avenue. Does anybody have any input on that? Because I've been getting calls from people at CBA.
61st and First.
61st and First, where the Goodwill,
And
trailers.
and it's a new men's shelter only or new
Yeah,
shelter?
men's shelter.
No, but we also haven't gotten that hasn't come through the housing and homelessness
No,
committee
because,
either.
because it's 2 blocks. north
Because
of
it's
ours.
2 blocks north.
Yeah, I'm getting,
Sorry, where?
I'm getting calls and emails from CBA
You
members
tell me.
asking if I knew anything about it. So I just put it out to them.
No. But I think it would still, even though it's out of our district, I think it might
Oh,
still be good. I'll bring it up at housing and homelessness.
Okay, I would appreciate it. Get, just if you give me some feedback
Yeah, for
on
sure.
that. I'd appreciate it.
I'll bring that up.
Yeah, and Anton, that also came up at the Community Education Council, CEC D2 meeting at Tweed last night. And
Oh.
apparently there is a school in the vicinity which might or might not impact the ability to put a shelter there. It was not clear, but it is a question on their mind.
Okay, I appreciate that, John. Thank you. Let me see,
And you said that 61st and First?
61st and First. District needs. I see Ann is rolling her eyes.
No, I hadn't realized that was, like, we're over there already, you know?
All right, have a think about it, maybe next month discuss a little bit if we have time. And the last thing, Ann, would you like to make your presentation?
I'll do a real quick,
Okay,
just mention and kind of see what the interest is. At last month, last 10 days ago, attended a CBA, a meeting of their committee, which is, they call it like the Small Business Committee, which I think is sort of interesting in itself, that it's not business affairs, right? Like, what do they do about the big businesses? But whatever, that's just where my brain goes. And there were 3 really interesting presentations from the San Francisco Legacy Business Program business program, the Village Presentation Small Business Program, meaning like Manhattan Village, and the New York City Department of Small Business Services. And there were some really interesting things, like the San Francisco, and a lot of what they do is like marketing and networking. They had some grant funding stuff. some ways for employees and landlords to apply for rent subsidies for legacy businesses. But it's complicated and it's sort of transitioned to doing slightly different things than that. But it was just kind of, it was thought provoking as to what we can do, because I know, I mean, one of my concerns about the whole meeting was, I feel like, of course, we want to preserve and do what we can to preserve our small businesses. But there's also kind of, what do we do about all the empty storefronts? Like,
Yeah.
that's in some ways more of a focus for me. And it wasn't, as they said, when I raised the question, like, that's not the focus of today's meeting. So, fair enough, but it's something to think about. One of the things that was super interesting was the presentation from the Jason Adoli from the New York City SBS. And I had no idea how many resources there are for small businesses, legal, financial, pro bono work that they provide, cost savings incentives, which again, like, I just didn't know. And hopefully our small, because we have a ton of small businesses, and I don't know if there's an opportunity for us to do some education, whether it's in the newsletter or something, just kind of pointing out to, I mean, as you said, like, businesses, commercial work is they're our constituents as well. On the other hand, I have to say, one of the slides in there had like the Twitter bird, not the X anymore. It's that I thought, how out of date is it? But that's the editor in me, and the village presentation, and I didn't get a chance to ask him, but when he was talking about what the description of the space is, it's like, it might fall, like, right, if, again, not our district, but if it's 14th Street, like Lower East Side, like, it's close, right? And he had interesting stuff. They do a ton of promotional stuff. They do a village awards nominated by community members. Also landmark engagement, public outreach, which I think
Landmark
especially with
engagement in a
Spencer,
business?
for, yes,
Not-
for things, I think it was over 25 years.
Oh.
So, which, like Hallmark, right? Like, it just
Yeah.
kind of, and historic designations that limit store frontage. Apparently there was a law about this. I don't know, and I haven't had time to research it. That it, so businesses can't like combine a bunch of storefronts, right? They have say, and I thought, and grocery stores were exempt because they do want to encourage grocery stores, but it limits formula businesses, which was not a terminology that I had heard. Like, I just always said chain stores, but I think like the formula businesses, I think I really like that. But I didn't quite catch like what that legislation was. It reminded me, I had a conversation with Virginia Maloney about what are the things that we can do to get those storefronts filled, and I had 4 things. One is, which I spoke to her about, one is the Small Business Jobs Survival Act, which I don't know if any of you are familiar with it. It has been around forever.
What does it mean?
Small Business Jobs Survival Act. Gail Brewer was a huge proponent of it. She's been working on this for years. I suggested, especially Virginia Maloney, she's so new as a council member, Gail Brewer could be a good mentor for her on that. And there are a couple other things that are interesting about why storefronts stay empty that I think are worth us all knowing. One is that storefronts that are emptied by change by formula stores may still be paying, so the landlord has no incentive to bring somebody else in. And along those same lines, if you have several buildings, you may wanna take a loss on an empty storefront because you'll get the tax. Like, so you're not losing money on it. So, and I just think like, if we wanna work on a bigger scheme to kind of do those things, these are elements we need to take in effect. And one of the other thing is I have go recently to a store on 72nd Street between West End and Broadway and Columbus, or Amsterdam and Columbus, whatever, which is like probably literally where the first pair of shoes I ever bought or ever wore. That's where they were bought. And they are a great shoe store. And like I said, they've been there, 65 years. And I would love to talk to them and ask about, like, what is their secret for success? Like, do they own the building, right? Like, it could be as simple as that,
Yes.
right? But I thought it might be in some ways worth a conversation. They're super nice people there.
There's also like, to your point about opening up or trying to advertise more programs, like there's a lot of programs to help small businesses buy the buildings that they are in. And if we could do resources on that or put something forward to help subsidize that in some way.
Although just as I was walking out the door, I was listening to something on New York One that was about the Adams, did all these last minute vetoes.
Yeah.
And one of the ones that is gonna stay, I don't know why they can't just like bring it back to the council and pass them and Adams will support, I don't know. But one of them, or in Mamdani will, not, sorry. I think it's probably Sandy, it is. Was the opportunity for nonprofits to have first right of refusal.
COPA.
So I don't know if there's something like that that could work for kind of businesses too. And I have, like, this is my kind of rough notes, so I didn't feel comfortable, but if you guys wanna see the presentation, there's like lots of links. I had thought about inviting these people to come here. My own thinking on inviting people to make presentations is evolving in that I don't, if they've already made a presentation and we can look at the presentation, do we need to waste their time doing it again? And if we watch the presentations and we have additional questions, we can reach out to them, but I think it's, respectful, right? We should always be. I am still in contact with the John Kraus, who, I don't know if you know him, CBA, but
personally.
he's he's sort of the Brian equivalent there. And he was gonna check in with the presenters, and if they were okay with that, share their contact information, so at least we would have it. And when I was out, did it on Zoom, but I was like, I will, like warning presenters, I might reach out to you, so that's all I got.
Okay, well, thank you very much. Appreciate that,
No, the links.
I think
I'll
liven
clean it
up
up at email.
our meetings with something other than cannabis applications, liquor applications.
Yeah.
And the like.
I would love to review, if we can, the apps that you were talking about, even if I'll certainly look it up on my own, but.
What are you talking about?
Yeah.
And I even went back and listened to the recording, and it was like they didn't give like really a name of it or anything, but it was the guy from Village Preservation that brought it up.
Yeah.
So if I get his name, we can.
Former member of this committee.
Yes.
Said
know it?
liaison to the Business Improvement District that overlaps CB six. And they since left, but I think I'll speak to Sandy about being the liaison to Business Improvement District, because you know, that's when you get down to some of the nitty gritty
Right.
going on. Yeah. I sat on the Union Square Business Improvement District years ago, and we knew every business.
Yeah, and we have several of them.
Yeah.
So.
Okay. Any more business before the committee?
No, and I'll just say one other thing, which is, it was super interesting to sit in another community boards committee meeting and just like see what's the same and what's different, so you might wanna just noodle around and look at that.
Yeah.
Look at any issue and, you know, it always makes me think better of us, so.
Having dinner with the next door neighbor.
I'm sorry?
It's like having dinner with the next door neighbor.
Yes, exactly.
Okay, do I hear a motion to adjourn?
Motion to adjourn.
Okay, no objection? Okay, seeing no further business, the meeting is adjourned at 8:35.
Huh.
Yay.
You.